Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk to you about eyebrows. It's something that I think I probably get complimented on the most, mainly because I don't really wear much makeup at all day to day, but I do spend a lot of effort on them. I feel super naked now. They're sort of maybe halfway through the cycle until I need to next dye them, so I thought this would be quite a good time to show you sort of what I do. It's not very complicated. I think I'm just lucky in terms of how much brow hair I do have. I never let anyone touch my brows. No one shapes them but me. It's taken many years to get here. I think especially if you have sort of like hooded eyes or you have a prominent brow bone, it can be quite difficult to find your shape, but I've settled on what I like. And I think as soon as they're all filled in, I do like them quite heavily filled in, then I feel more me, I feel more at home and more comfortable. The products that I use are two eyeshadows from MAC. Before in my Pro Kit, I used to have lots of different shadows like this for eyebrow colours, and I had them in a bigger palette, but now I carry my Anastasia Beverly Hills sort of Pro Brow Book. But these ones are Mystery and Omega. I just like that they are cool toned. This is sort of more the brow colour that I naturally have. However, I think I need some of this to lighten it up, just because I don't think you should actually go for the exact colour of your natural hair. I also use this angled brush from Ecotools. It's very, very old, but it's just what does the trick. And also we've got the Collection Colour Lash Clear Mascara. Now, I use this once I've put all the powder in my hair, so it's actually supposed to be clear, but it's a little bit sort of gunky now, but I guess it's just for my personal use, so it doesn't really matter to me. So I'm going to zoom you in now and I'll just show you the routine. It will be very quick. So my first step is always to kind of brush the hairs around. Eventually, I'm going to have all of the hair brushed really far up. But I think sometimes if you brush them down, you can assess this sort of top shape to see which one you want. I take a mix of the two colours that I just showed you before and I start to sort of gently stamp it in. I'm not really super careful about it. I think if you want to have sort of fluffy brows, then it can pay to be a little bit messy, but I just don't want to put too much shadow down, if you know what I mean. There's no sort of rhyme or reason to how much shadow I'm taking from the two products. I just sort of dip one, dip the other, and then really sort of messily brush this all in. I'm essentially just filling in the whole brow shape. Because it's powder, it's quite soft. Then I just like to brush the hairs up to see how we're going, see if it looks sort of the right shape to me, which it does. And then I go in and fill in a little bit on the sort of inner portion of the eye. I don't like to have too much going on in the inner corner here, if you can see. It's slightly lighter than the outside, but not by much. Make sure it's not too blocky. And again, just keep going through to make sure I'm seeing the right bits. If I go outside the lines, I just like to take it away with my finger. Okay, so here's where we're at in terms of the difference between my brows. You can see this is now much fuller. This one's looking a bit straggly. And then I just go in with my brow mascara and lay the hairs up. Some people have really, really stubborn eyebrow hairs that just won't lay flat or lay in the direction that you sort of send them. I am just fortunate that mine do as they're told. I think if you have more unruly brows, you might want to try the sort of Pear's soap trick or any kind of soap brow. You can make it into a little paste with water and just stick them up. Or you could use the Anastasia Beverly Hills brow gel, because that one's also quite strong. Now for me, this is the most important part, trying to work out how fluffy I want them and to get them all in line. I like to brush them down and over just so that I get them in the perfect placement, because once this is dry, that's basically it for the day and they don't move at all. So this is my sort of most key step. They could do with a little bit of a trim actually, because they're not all sort of the right size. But yeah, that's literally all I do for my eyebrows every single day. I do it on both sides and then that's me good to go. I thought I'd show you what it looks like zoomed out, sort of one and then the other. like this. It's just more sort of groomed, more structured. I don't extend it as far as I possibly could. So, you know, that sort of trick where you go from nose to eye to end of brow, I probably could extend my eyebrow a little bit further. I just find being a guy, it looks a little bit less, I don't know, I think it looks a bit intense if I make it go too long. And also, if I draw my eyebrow down here, that also accentuates my hooded eye. I could try and draw it out further along and flatten the shape, but I just don't really love that aesthetic for sort of how it, I don't know, it just doesn't seem to balance my face very well, so I just prefer to keep the shorter, stubbier brow. So yeah, that's literally it. I wish I could make this tutorial more interesting. It's what I do to my brows every single day. It takes me about 2 minutes. I'm really, really rough with it, sort of getting that brush in and just going, get the colour on there. And then I do sort of almost use the brow gel and how wet it is to help remove some of the product so it's not just too full on. As I said, I'm sort of halfway through my sort of dyeing cycle, so I tint and dye my lashes and shape them every couple of weeks. And every time that I do that, I basically sort of use the dye in exactly the same way. I fill in the entire shape of my brow with slightly less in here. And then for maybe the sort of first 4 or 5 days, I don't need to use any product at all. And after that, I basically use the products that I have shown you today to get myself back to that point. I always want to have my eyebrows looking exactly like this. It's just the style that I've sort of settled on and that I'm most comfortable with. I don't know if it will have been much help, but I thought I'd show you anyway. Thanks for watching. Please do like this video, subscribe to my channel, and leave me a comment if you'd like to ask any questions or just chat to me. I'd love to get back to you, and hopefully I'll see you again next time. Bye, guys.